Thank you for coming to the reorganization meeting of the Connecticut Central School District. The meeting is now called to order. Please join with me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our military. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll. Mr. Amorando?
Here.
Mrs. Obelis? Present. Mr. Ferrioli?
Here.
Mr. Grable?
Here.
Mrs. Kennedy?
Present.
Dr. Adams?
Present.
Mr. Annucci?
Present.
Mrs. Donnelly is absent. Mrs. Manzi?
Present.
Mr. Middleman?
Present.
Mrs. Hutchinson?
Present.
And Mr. Budnick.
Present.
Thank you. I will now do the oath of office for our newly elected board members. Mrs. Obelis, would you please come forward?
Come back or come forward? Behind you or come forward?
Come forward, because you're going to have to sign the book. Do you solemnly swear?
Do I have to put my hand on the Bible?
No, you could raise your right hand,
okay.
or you don't have to. It's up to you.
Raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of Office of Board Trustee according to the best of your ability?
Yes, to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Woohoo, 3 more years of
Do you
abuse.
solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board Trustee according to the best of your ability? Okay. At this point, I'll be now accepting nominations for the office of president. I will do it by roll call, and do I have a nomination? Mr. Ferrioli nominates Craig.
I nominate.
Of course.
Nominate Mr. Rob here, to my left.
Rob here.
Rob here.
That's his last name.
You sound very committed and trustworthy of me. Rob here.
Any other nominations?
I nominate Mr. Amorando as well.
You nominate.
I nominate Mr. Grable. She said it right.
Game of chess.
I hope you know.
Checkers.
And Mylan, you have nominated Mr. Grable.
Mr.
As
Grable.
well. Him down there. She's-
Okay, so for office of president, on the vote for Mr. Amorando, let's see the, by roll call.
What were you just going down the line?
Yeah, I can just do them alone, that's fine.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right, so this is from Mr. Amorando. All right, I'm going to just call it out because I have to do this. Right. All right, Mr. Amorando, you vote for yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Mrs. Ogelis?
Yes.
Yes or no?
She said no, too.
No.
No? Mr. Ferrioli, you
Yes.
said yes. Mr. Grable?
Yes.
Mrs. Kennedy?
No.
We already have. I already have a president, so Mr. Amarando, you are board president, and now you preside over the meeting. Congratulations, and come take the oath of office. Mr. Amarando, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board president, according to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Congratulations. And you're in charge. All right, at this time, I'll be taking nominations for the Board of Education Vice President.
Can I try first? I'll go Rob here.
Consistent.
I'll nominate Mr. Grable.
Okay, 1 second. Kennedy, any other? Mr. Grable?
As do I.
Okay, well, we have to take a vote now. I'm going to go down for Vice President, Rob Grable, Mr. Amarando, Mrs. Augelis,
Yes, both for Grable.
Mr. Ferrioli.
No.
No? Mr. Grable,
No.
Mrs. Kennedy.
Yes.
For Mr. Ferrioli, Mr. Amarando,
Yes.
Mrs. Augelis,
No.
Mr. Ferrioli,
Yes.
Mr. Grable,
Yes.
Mrs. Kennedy. No. Mr. Ferrioli, please come take the oath of office. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board vice president according to the best of your ability? Congratulations. Oh, yes. At this point, you're in charge, so there's no changes to the meeting agenda.
All right. First, we'll move on to G, school board member ethics and evaluation. Yes?
It's just a review. Everybody signed it.
Can you guys turn on your microphone?
Do we have to discuss? No discussion? All right, do I need a motion to accept?
No, no motion on this.
Nothing.
It's at
this point, the appointment of officers.
H, appointment of officers. Okay.
Please hand over that. You, Miss? Dr. Adams?
No.
Andrew needs to take the oath of office, and so do I, from acceptance.
Lisa? All right. Miss Andrea Wilson, you're going to accept your oath of office?
Can you just turn your microphones on?
Hutchinson?
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of district clerk according to the best of your ability? Congratulations. Thank you.
All right. Next person to accept oath of office is Dr. Adams.
Dr. Adams, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Superintendent of Schools
Yes, I will.
according to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Hear that?
Moving on to J, we need to approve the minutes of the June 13, 2017 Business and Audit Committee meeting. Motion. Need a second? All in favor? Aye. All right, special recognition. So now we just move to K.
We're up to K. This is exciting.
Can you speak a little more loudly?
I am going to speak loudly. Is that good enough? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's good.
So today we're here to honor and give an honorary high school diploma. Come on up, we're going to talk about you, so you might as well come on up. So, okay. This is Mrs. Lorraine Ad McMays. She was born, am I allowed to give out your date of birth?
March 25th, 1929.
1929, right here. She was born in a house on Walnut Street, and she currently lives around the corner on Wall Street. She attended the original schoolhouse building on our district, graduated 8th grade under Mr. John Pearl. As there was no district high school back then in Bohemia or Oakdale, those residents actually attended high school in Sayville. She completed 3.5 years in Sayville, but did not stay for her degree. Instead, she left and attended Wilfrid Academy School in New York City for cosmetology because her family and the times dictated at those times that she needed to go to work. She is on the board of directors of the Bohemia Historical Society, and she is considered an authority on local history and is featured in many videos at our library about the founding of Bohemia. She is a resident that is an extraordinary person, and I am pleased today to be able to give you an honorary diploma from Connecticut High School.
I'm so nervous. Good evening, everyone. It is with a sincere appreciation that I thank Superintendent of Schools, Linda Adams, and every member of the Connecticut School District Board of Education for the great honor you just extended to me. I also want to thank my friend Grace Bainza for believing in me enough to bring this to the school district's attention at the start. I was born in 1929, a very different time in American family's house on Walnut Avenue in Bohemia. After marrying, I moved just 1/10 of a mile away to my own house that my husband Larry and I had built on Wall Street, which was then just a little dirt road between Walnut Avenue and Locust Avenue. Bohemia was a wonderful town in which to grow up and given me a lifetime of fond memories. At the time, a large population was made up of Czech people. The families came to Czechoslovakia through New York City to this area in 1855, and a town of Czech people grew up around them. Bohemia was a close-knit community with the residents truly cared about each other and looked after one another. Bohemia will always hold a special place in my heart. My education began in a little wooden four-room schoolhouse called the Union Free School No. 7, which stood where the John Pearl Elementary School's library now stands. Mr. Pearl, an outstanding person, was my 7th and 8th grade teacher, as well as a school principal. After graduation from grade school, I moved on to high school. Many students never got the opportunity to go to high school, but rather left school after 8th grade to begin working in order to help their families or to apprentice a trade in order to be able to care for themselves. Since Bohemia had no high school, Bohemia children were forced to attend Sable High School along with students from Oakdale, West Sable, Holbrook, and Ronkonkoma. After 3.5 years of Sable High School, I did what is now called quitting school. Then as a teenager, I traveled into New York City every day for 8 months on the Long Island Railroad to attend Wilford Academy School of Cosmetology on Broadway and 51st Street. I graduated with a completion diploma and also passed the New York State Board exam for cosmetology and hairdressing. My graduating class was the very first under the New York State requirements. On and off for 70 years, I have thought about the fact that I never completed high school. Each time I passed BOSI's Center on Locust Avenue, I tell myself, if BOSI's had existed when I attended Sable High School, I would not have quit but would have graduated. However, recently a friend informed me that I was not a quitter, but a leaver. I really did not quit school, but rather just left high school that was not equipped to provide me with the training I needed to follow my dreams of becoming a hairdresser and a cosmetologist, to continue my education at a school that was. This has given me a new perspective and has helped me to view myself in a whole new light. And now this special honor. After all these years, I thank you again for such a caring and meaningful recognition. I am truly grateful. Oh my God.
All my board members come out and take a picture with Mrs. Mace.
Just come like go
Yes.
around there.
Yeah.
There. Okay, that's good. And look at them. All those people with the cameras. Thank you.
Say Bohemia. back to our work.
Yeah.
Have her tap in. Come on out.
Good job. Save, Bohemia.
Bohemia.
Congratulations.
Just one more speech. Yes, go ahead, Lisa. Put it underneath the microphone.
Might not be able to put it with the metal on the part though.
Okay.
Has the feedback.
Here?
There we
The
go.
whole thing over away from the speaker.
There you
To
go.
the right.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening. I too wish to thank all those responsible for bestowing such a marvelous honor on Lorraine Mays, as well as her family members and friends who came to share in supporting her and to witness the truly important event in her life. Before I speak about Lorraine, however, I would like to acknowledge a person sitting in the audience, Donna Schaefer. Will you please stand up, Donna, for a minute? Donna is the beloved niece of Lorraine Mays. She is the daughter of Lorraine's dear, dear sister, Faye Pagels, who was the original founder of the Bohemia Historical Society, of which Lorraine has been a member of the board of directors since the society's inception in 1984. Mrs. Schaefer is also a past president of the society who is here tonight, not only in support of her aunt, but also as the representative of the Bohemia Historical Society. Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. About Lorraine Mays, we met some time ago at a concert at the Connecticut Library right next door, where in the nearly packed community room, I had the good fortune of asking Lorraine if the vacant seat beside her was actually spoken for, which it was not. So I sat down there, and we got to talking that day. After sitting next to her at several additional concerts at the library, she struck me as being someone special. We just seemed to click, as Lorraine said, and our relationship took off from there. Since that time, she has somehow managed to wiggle her way into my heart. She and I do not share her Czechoslovakian or Village of Bohemia heritage. I am what could be called an all-American mutt from Iceland, who I believe Lorraine has secretly been attempting to convert to what she refers to as a Czechie. She has invited me to attend several society meetings, the potluck supper, the May 21 special event in New York City, and constantly throws Czech words in my direction. Good luck with trying, Lorraine. Recently, Lorraine has admitted to me to being an imperfect woman who has some quirks, as she calls them, which to my manner of thinking makes her no different from the rest of us. She can be a bit feisty when she chooses, if she sees a wrong that should be righted but isn't, or if there is some job that needs doing that she herself can no longer handle, one that is not done as quickly as she would like or as satisfactorily as she would wish it to be. There is no room for procrastination in Lorraine's existence, which can sometimes be imposing and or frustrating to those who attempt to assist her while also trying to keep up with the tasks and demands in their own lives. However, our world would be a far better place with more Lorraines in it. Since befriending her, I have found her to be a kind and caring, honest, thoughtful, respectful, and sensitive, almost to a fault. She is a very proud woman with a deep love of her family and her community. Lorraine is a capable and responsible individual, one who can be totally depended upon to carry out any task that she commits to. And at 88 years of age, she still commits to many. It is Lorraine who opens and sets up at the Society's Hall before each monthly meeting, who cleans up afterwards with a minimum of help, and who donates some of the refreshments for each meeting. On May 21st, 2017, the Society held a special event together with a Czech ambassador at the Embassy in New York City. You will be baking your delicious apple strudels to take along for refreshments after the program, won't you, Lorraine? I heard the Society president ask. Yes, and 4 large apple strudels made their way to the Big Apple. At a recent Society meeting, the president discussed the Society's upcoming annual fundraiser. Without even asking anyone if anyone was interested in providing raffle prizes, the president looked at Lorraine and matter-of-factly suggested that Lorraine would likely be donating the 2 large baskets of items to be used for the raffle prizes. To this assumption, as to the apple strudel assumption I previously mentioned, there came another yes from Lorraine. Her generosity seems to have come depended upon. At the last Society meeting, I witnessed the president calling for volunteers to go to the Society Hall on Wednesday to give it a good cleaning. With over 200 members and with dozens of them in attendance at that meeting, who was one of only 3 women to show up for the task? Yes, you guessed it. For both Wednesdays, 88-year-old Lorraine Mays, going like the Energizer Bunny, clean, 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 work, work, work. And at home, she is no different. For Memorial Day, it is Lorraine who arranges for the cars to be used by the Society in the parade. It is she who, for decades, along with her sister Faye, went to the shop to arrange for the Society's wreath, picked it up, and then placed it at the monument on Church Street during the ceremony. She could not hang the wreath Memorial Day this year due to a family obligation in Ohio, but be sure to be looking for her at the monument next Memorial Day. Those of you who attended the college scholarship presentation event in June witnessed Lorraine presenting 2 scholarships to worthy high school graduates. While driving down Church Street, I hope that you take notice to the flowers planted around the school bell outside the John Pearl School and in the curved brick planter across the street by the bagel shop. After 3 different people commented to Lorraine about the weeds and lack of flowers in these locations, did she remind them that they could do something positive about their concerns? No. She got so disturbed thinking about this, that what a negative reflection it would be upon the Historical Society, that she herself weeded the beds before going to the nursery on Locust Avenue to approach the owner, himself a lifetime Bohemia Historical Society member, for donations of flowers, of which he did give her several flats. Lorraine then returned to the planters and single-handedly planted every one of those flowers around the bell and across the street. She then asked the man at the bagel shop if he'd please keep the flowers watered, which he agreed to do and hopefully will. Due to her extensive knowledge of Bohemia's history, of the historic buildings, and of all of the family trees of what seems like hundreds of old-time Bohemia residents, being able to recall the first and last names of the couples, all their children, and probably their family pets, although she has not given me any of the old-timers' dogs or cats' names. And I must say, for the record, that's not true, because I went to visit her Monday to set up. She was talking about a couple who she knew, their children, their names, and their dog, Skippy. So, there you go. Okay. Lorraine has been requested by the society to be driven around Bohemia in a convertible, hopefully a Maserati or Lamborghini convertible, while someone will be videotaping various historic buildings that she points out and recording her narrations of Bohemia's history and of the people and buildings involved in it. Speaking of videos, Lorraine appears in the Bohemia Historical Society video, Bohemia Then and Now, which has been screened at the Society Hall, at the Connecticut Library, and at the Czech Embassy in New York City. She has also been videotaped by Diane Haberstra, a reference librarian at the Connecticut Library, the video to be part of the library's permanent collection of interviews of Bohemia's older residents sharing their remembrances of their good old days growing up in early Bohemia. And the list goes on and on and on. Hopefully you now recognize why I find Lorraine Mays to be such an amazing person, one so worthy of tonight's recognition and which has been sorely missing in her life. As for my life, it has been greatly enriched just by having Lorraine as a part of it now. Thank you.
Very nice speech.
Yeah, to change the meeting to public comment, yeah.
Yes. All right, we're gonna make a change. We want to move public comment to right now, so can I get a motion to change that? Motion, second?
Will I say that again?
We're gonna do public comment right now. All right, this section of the agenda gives the Board of Education an opportunity to recognize persons who wish to raise a question or to make a brief statement on matters including, but not limited to, agenda items. The time available will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters. Persons wishing to speak are asked to adhere to the following guidelines. Step to the podium, address the board president only. You may address one or more topics at the time allotted. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. The board has the final decision in determining the length of time, the appropriateness of the subject being presented, and the suitability of the time for such a presentation. Would anyone like to speak? Good evening.
I'd like to thank the board for hearing us on this matter. My name is Chris Carcello. I am the drama and acting teacher at Connecticut High School. And since I took over those classes in the direction of the dramas and comedies last few years, my goal has been to try to elevate our department. Everyone knows about the school musicals. They are above and beyond anything we could hope for. I don't have anything to do with those. That's okay. They deserve all the accolades they get. What we try to do with the drama and the comedies, though, is really elevate what we're doing now. And the way to do that is by bringing more challenging material to our performers and to our audience. And that's what I'd like to speak to you about tonight. I have a student here who is Leah Hauser. She has been a mainstay of our drama department the last few years. And she has a play that she would like to perform in her senior year that I think is more than we could really hope for our department. So she'd like to introduce that. She is also the author of the letter that was sent to the board. I don't know if everyone had a chance to read that. Leah?
Good evening.
Leah, I'm a senior here at Connecticut High School. I'm in places my freshman year. And I've been absent for 5, so this is something
You're very good. I love watching you in plays.
Thank you.
Very good. You also, right? You also.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you.
You gotta move the podium over, away from the speaker. To the right.
Maybe if you hold it, Leah.
I was just going to say.
I can hold it. Proof by David Auburn. It's a play about a young woman struggling to deal with the loss of her father and the inheritance of both his mental illness and his mathematical genius. The play discusses things like the complications of family and the sacrifices that each member makes for it and how that shapes people's lives and characters. It's about love and opening up to people when you're most vulnerable. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama along with 3 Tony Awards when it debuted on Broadway. And it was then made into a movie starring recognizable performers like Gwyneth Paltrow and Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a very intriguing show and impactful even without a real physical performance. I read and analyzed this show for a second time in my AP English classroom this year, and the themes are really endless, and the dialogue alone has this artistic nature to it that I feel would really be beautiful if it was brought to the Connecticut stage. However, the dialogue is what I'm here to talk with you about. The show ran on Broadway in the year 2000, so it's a modern show, which means it includes modern language that can sometimes be explicit. There's nothing said in this show that's any worse than a PG-13 rated movie, which was what the film adaptation of Proof was rated. It's never used in a sexual or inappropriate manner. It's only used in emotionally charged scenes to punctuate the dialogue and make it seem more realistic. This play by David Auburn, I feel, is art, so I've come here today to ask for permission to showcase it in its true form. Art isn't made to be censored, it's made to make an impact and share its message with an audience, and I wouldn't ever consider performing this show without the intended language that the author put in it. To keep our community informed, all of our advertisements would make note of the fact that this language is included in the show. But after seeing this show performed in its entirety, I can guarantee that the quality of the performance will far outshine any of the questionable language. As Mr. Carsell mentioned, we've been trying to elevate our department for years, and I've been a part of that, which allows every performance to help our department grow and mature. And this show, I feel, is the next step for us. It's profound and challenging and thought-provoking for both the performers and the audience. I feel one of the main goals of the theater is to allow both parties to walk away from the show changed in some way. And I think that Proof by David Auburn would do just that. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to speak with us and your consideration of the matter.
How long was the show?
How long?
It's approximately a 2-hour performance.
Because the dramas that, as you know, drama and comedies really never have a large crowd. I guess they're trying to change that.
Well, what's happened when I took over about 5 years ago or so, truthfully, we were getting 50 people per performance. We're at about 250 now, which we love, okay? We know we don't expect to sell out that auditorium. It just doesn't happen. But the response we get is more than we could hope for in these past few years.
And a lot of the students that aren't in the department have been taking part in helping to advertise for it and spread the word with teachers and other students that usually wouldn't go to see the show.
How many students will be at that performance?
At the performance,
It's
in the performance.
It's a 4-character show.
It's 4 characters.
Can I ask a question, because you mentioned the sensitivity of some of the lines that are being mentioned in the play. Would you give us an example which you would think is the worst line in the play?
Probably not lines specifically, because we really just started reading the play, but we really said the worst words in the play. The F word is used several times during the production in an emotional way, to really impact the dialogue. But like Leah said, it's never in a sexual way, it's never in a salacious way at all. So it's really just that. It's all about, I can't effing believe this, lines like that.
So I guess the question would go to the attorney. Are we allowed to have...
It's actually an excellent question. It's something I would have to research.
Can you put your microphone on?
What the parameters are in terms of language, your policy, and you have a code of conduct, but if it's used in an artistic manner or for educational purposes, because I know there are books that you read that have that language, sexual content, and things of that nature. So if it's educational, it might be permissible, but it's certainly something I have to research to see, because it's now, you're putting it towards the public, so I'd have to see if there are any limitations to that.
Just to piggyback on that, I realize my question is not related to that, because that's black and white. It's in our policy, it's not our policy. But to you, when you say several, are we talking 3 to 5? Are we talking 20? Are we talking 50? Are we talking 100? What's several? Because, 3 to 5, under 10, people are going to go, all right, those words. If it's every other line and and it's 50, 70 times through the performance,
There may be no impact.
that's a whole different ballgame.
I think at that rate, the words being used just
Right,
used.
that's what I'm saying. So
I'd say throughout the entire play, it's maybe about 10 times.
can't you substitute it with Brecken?
We considered that, and it just loses all the impact of the emotion.
In my English classroom, we did substitute it, and it just kind of fell flat. And it just you didn't feel the emotion that the character was feeling. It kind of was just like, oh, there was supposed to be a word there that they decided to change.
This play was written in 2000, just so you know. It is a very modern play.
I'm thinking to me, you treat it like another word. Everyone makes such a big deal out of some of these words. They turn it into something bad. To me, they're just words.
Yeah, but we have a responsibility as a Board of Education.
I know,
So that's, we're not,
Well, I'm
in
listening
the
to what you
playhouse,
say.
we can be
If
more.
it's permissible, and if it's in context, you're proving the point, and everyone's gonna gain some knowledge or something maybe in their own personal life, then it's not a bad, I don't think it's good. 2 hours of vulgarity. There's a difference between vulgarity and expression.
Listen, that's why I asked the question.
So I think we should find out.
I think we need to find out.
Do you know if there's been any other high schools that have performed it?
Not that I'm aware of, but
I think along your lines of what you stated too, we can discuss this further, but you talked about the sponsors being aware of the situation. I think that some kind of disclaimer or something should be on the tickets, posters, whatever
Advertisements.
you put out needs to make people aware so that no children are present if parents don't want children present and things like that.
Yeah, I believe that's-
that's probably more of a legal piece as well.
yeah, I think that's something Lee mentioned, but we had already discussed it,
Yeah.
that all the advertising would say mature language, explicit language.
Yeah, because we did get feedback from our regular high school.
Lee, you gotta put your microphone on. Put your microphone on, I can't hear you at all. Thank you.
We did get some, listen, Tom, best I could do.
Thank you.
We did get some feedback, negative feedback to one of our plays. And it was just someone being a little promiscuous. And someone in the audience interpreted it in a negative way. So you have to understand our perspective.
Which is exactly why we're coming here first.
But I personally think that it's legal and it's not used as vulgarity. It's used as expression. And we're trying to upgrade our performance. And that's a plus. You know, I'm a little disappointed it's only one person play, to be honest.
We do, it tends to be the dramas tend to have smaller casts.
It's just the nature of the way they're created.
Me too.
Can a script be emailed to us?
Yeah, without a doubt. Did you bring a copy of the script?
No, I have one that I could bring.
Yeah, we could easily
Email a script, be ready.
Yeah, well, if you can't email, you can drop it to central, right?
Yeah, you can drop it,
Yeah.
scan
Make
it,
copies
send
of
it
it,
to
we'll get one
send
back
it to
to
the
you.
board, and we'll
Yeah,
get back to
easily.
the
I'm
legal
just gonna
opinion as
comment
quickly
on
as
it from
possible.
a person. Like I said, I love art, I love, of course, expressing, art, and I come to all the plays and the musicals, and I love them. I'm very impressed with our kids in this high school and how they perform. That's a tough one, it's a sticky situation. I understand what you're talking about, where if you're gonna do a play, you want, everything in that play matters. For me personally, right now on the spot, I would say no. Just because I understand that artwork at a theater in Manhattan on TV, that's a different story, but just allowing it in a school setting, me personally, I don't like that.
How's it any different than Catcher in the Rye?
I don't know if that's a choice, they all read that?
I also read that in my
Yeah.
classroom this year.
Of course, what do they say in there?
That's worse,
Ah.
and a lot worse.
There's a lot
There's
of
a difference. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference, I think,
Yeah,
between
because
reading it in a book
you're in the classroom with
and it being
17-year-olds or
approved by the
16-year-olds.
circuit and putting it out to the
Yeah, I don't know,
public.
it's just my opinion.
We just gotta warn Miss May that what she's walking
Yes.
into. Somebody like Miss May might be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will definitely, we'll find out the legal stuff and we'll, discuss it further and give it due diligence.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We'll get back to you as a decision.
Thank you for coming here tonight,
Yeah,
again, it's
thank
very,
you.
you're,
Thank you.
yeah.
Spoke very well. It's
Yes.
very,
Thank you for your
thankful,
time.
Yep, thank you.
for you to come up here and do that.
I love your passion.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
You agreed
Thank you.
the effort in the park.
Thank you. I texted the whole board as I left, you have to go see this tomorrow night.
I did go see it. It was fantastic.
Oh, you can
coming down.
Any other public speakers tonight? Public comment?
Nick, why are you looking at me?
Going once,
No, I just.
I'm just kidding.
going twice. So, all right, so where do we go back to?
We need
L.
board
L.
members.
L?
L.
L, recommended action, reorganization items.
Okay, but before we do that, we need members for,
Other committees.
yes,
19,
18, 19, and 20.
Can I just interject here for a second?
Yes,
Do a motion in a second, and then you go through a review,
okay.
and then on the motion, my motion, then everything gets moved.
All right. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second, okay. Now we move to 18. I only see 3, audit, health and safety, and policy.
What is everybody?
I'll do health and safety.
On the policy.
How many do we need for each one?
2.
I'll do health and safety too.
Okay.
I'll do
What are you
policy.
doing, Rob?
Health and safety.
Health and safety is Lee and Rob.
No,
Wait a
mine.
minute, I said it.
Mylan and Rob,
Policy.
policy,
Is Lee and Nick.
Lee and Nick. All right, perfect.
Okay, and then, Facilities Advisory Committee, number 19, we'll do that.
Who's doing that?
I'll do it.
I'm on it.
Mylan,
Yes.
okay.
And then, steering,
I'll do this.
20.
I'll take care of that one.
Board member.
I can do it myself.
You'll be an alternate for that, Lee?
Lee is
Craig's the alternate. That's covered.
All right, anything
He's
else?
the first, the second, and the alternate.
motion on the table.
All right.